Chapter 5 Satoko and Nada. Satoko and Nada is a manga series. It illustrates the friendship between two international students in the US. Satoko from Japan and Nada from Saudi Arabia. Ms. Takada Ryo interviewed Yubechika, the author of Satoko and Nada. 1. Nice to meet you, Yubechika-san. I'm Takada Ryo. Here is my first question. What led you to create Satoko and Nada? In my college days, I studied in the United States and met several students who were Muslims. At that time, I knew very little about Islam. The Muslim lifestyle surprised me, but I learned a lot. I wanted to share this knowledge with many people, so I created the manga and posted it on social media. Actually, I was shocked by the story personality gap. Before reading the story, I had the wrong impression about Muslim women. I had thought they were modest people hiding their faces and bodies with dark clothes. But at all guys' parties, they show their faces and wear colorful dresses. That's a big surprise, isn't it? In Satoko and Nada, there are many stories dealing with culture shock. Before I read your manga, I felt sorry for Muslim women because they couldn't choose their clothes. Well, in the beginning, I felt the same way. But I know it's not true. We should not judge people before knowing more about their culture. 2. Was there anything you kept in mind while writing Satoko and Nada? Nada? When I was creating the stories, I tried to avoid stereotypes of Muslim girls and Japanese girls. Instead, I tried to describe Satoko and Nada as individuals. Could you explain that in a little more detail? Sure. For example, we may feel uncomfortable when we hear someone say, "In general, all Japanese are." When we may meet people from another culture, we should see them not as representatives, but as individuals. In the story, Knowing You, Satoko says to Nada, I mean, I do wanna know more about your culture, but I mostly just wanna know more about you. Satoko wants to know more about her roommate, Nada. And naturally, she also wants to know more about Nada's culture. This, I think, is the starting point of cross-cultural communication. 3. I have another question about my favorite story. Playing. Satoko comes back to their room and starts talking to Nada. However, she finds that Nada is in the middle of a prayer. Satoko is embarrassed and doesn't know what to do or say. She quickly wraps herself up in a big scarf. When she finishes playing, Nada is surprised to see Satoko's strange appearance. What were you trying to describe? I wanted to describe Satoko's sweet and considerate character humorously. She wants to know Nada. She isn't a Muslim, but she wants to respect Nada's culture. In another episode, Nada, in turn, becomes curious about what Japanese dishes are like. Satoko prepares a Japanese meal and Nada enjoys eating it. Yes, I believe food plays an important role in intercultural understanding. We can easily make friends if we show an interest in other people's food culture. 4. What was the reaction of your readers? I've received a lot of comments. It's interesting that the comments changed over time. At first, many of the comments showed surprise at various aspects of Muslim cultures. As the story went on, however, I received more comments on the two girls' friendship. In fact, when I read the stories, I could see the change in Satoko's emotions. Oh, I'm very glad to hear that. Satoko decided to study abroad because she felt uncomfortable about hiding her true feelings in order to go along with the crowd. One day, Satoko tells Nada the reason she decided to study in the US. Then Nada holds Satoko's hand and says, I'm different, and you are different. We are all different, but we are still friends. That's true friendship. Yeah, I agree. Despite our individual differences, we can live together. And we can even be friends by knowing and respecting each other as individuals. I believe different kinds of people make our world a better and more interesting place. Yes, diversity can make our life richer. Thank you for your time today.